we're heading back to Sexy Beast's most visited hotspot. And not because there's that Appalachian beauty who does that thing I like. West Virginia. We meet the most fiercest cryptid of the TNT region. Not a time to be sheepish.
Today on Sexy Beast, we talking Sheepsquatch.
You're just so sexy. Are you a Loch Ness monster? Or are you Bigfoot, cryptid, supernatural vampires, banshees, Tony and Jago? Oops, there's that Wendigo. Hey, coming after me. Who the fuck said you could laugh at me, smack with me? With a Bigfoot dick you could slap with me? Blasphemy. You could dare come at me with a Bigfoot dick with a Loch Ness monster, pussy. Bay Sexy Beast.
Welcome to Sexy Beast, your foray into the menagerie of the unexplained. Every podcast is devoted to a specific creature, cryptid, or monster. We discuss its history, its merits, and using our FEC analysis, we rate and review the beast against other creatures in our premier crypt. Basically, we're a monster review show, and we look at fighting, evidence, sex appeal, and cool factor. Be sure to listen all the way to the end, because this week, we actually have a return of Freak Encounters.
Turn off Mac once again. That's all.
Oh my Lord! So basically, they're spooky stories that you, the listener, sent in to us. And of course, we'll be closing out with a game of Top Trumps, where finally, Team Pussy Licking Junkies are up on top after a triumphant victory over Team Eddie and Linda's biggest mistake.
Fuck, I forgot that was the name.
Yeah.
Ouch.
Well, it's sore. My name, if you don't know who I am, is Tony Bantwell. And my co-host is always Shag Jago.
Shag Jago? So that's a low energy version of my name. Also, I really have
go on.
A bad feeling. Not bad feeling, a bad relationship with the word banter. I don't like it.
You don't like banter?
Yeah.
There was similar to like the word random. It was like used early on, but like random. You know, and then banter was like used for like about 2 months where it was like, oh, that's cool. And then it was like pints at lunch, kind of lads. You know, oh, banter, mate, banter.
So the thing is, though, if someone uses banter like non-ironically around me, and they're like, I had great banter last night. I'm sort of like, oh, they literally just sat around showing Family Guy memes to each other.
Yeah.
You know, it's that sort of.
Do you know what I like is a good one? They used to say it in London quite a lot. You know, like they'd say, oh, Jago, you know, he's good chat. As in, like,
yeah,
good,
I like
banter.
that chat. He's a good chat.
But like they'd say he is, or like, you know,
he's chat,
or she's good chat. Actually, she's good crack.
Yeah,
you know, she's good chat.
It's like saying I have good chats with them, but like missing out a couple of the words.
She's good chat.
She's a good chat. She is.
That's all I need to know. She's good
Maybe
chat.
We should try and coin like a new sort of phrase for people to use and then spread it.
Cactophone?
Do you know the word quiz?
Yeah.
Is an Irish word that was created by an Irish man for a bet. Here's Jago's fact of the week.
Whoa! Fact of the week.
Exactly. So the word quiz. So basically, an Irishman was bet that he couldn't put a word in the English lexicon overnight. So he went around Dublin daubing the word quiz, just a random selection of words, Q-U-I-Z, all over Dublin. And the next day it was in the paper. It's like, who is this mystery quiz? And because it was in the paper, he won his bet.
What?
Yeah.
But, so he just wrote the word quiz everywhere?
Yeah.
And everyone was like, what's quiz?
Yeah.
I don't believe that.
Okay. Well, we'll discuss. I'll Google that to make sure it's true later.
And next week we'll have Jago's retract of the week. Jago, why the fuck are we back in West Virginia?
It's
where in the world is Carmen Sandiego? West Virginia, probably bumming a fucking Indrid Cold.
Indrid Cold. They're lovers. They love each other. But West Virginia seems to be a breeding place of pretty interesting cryptids.
Who have we had so far?
Indrid Cold.
Yes.
Flatwoods Monster.
So Indrid Cold was the mysterious man who came down from space allegedly and had a potential love affair with another man. That was never actually, we never mentioned on the episode, but maybe he was having a love affair with another man.
And then
Flatwoods Monster.
Yeah.
Weird spade head, possibly an L, but most likely a Martian from Mars Attacks.
And then we had Mothman. Classic.
Mothman. Of the Prophecy fame.
Of the Prophecy, Richard Gere.
Essentially a guy who looks like a moth, has weird piercing red eyes, arrives before a huge disaster happens, like he's a clairvoyant.
Exactly. So this week we decided, do you know what? We haven't had enough West Virginia, so let's go to West Virginia, the TNT region.
TNT region. We're back. All right, Jago, this time you're at an old-timey party, potentially in the year 1927 in West Virginia, because I found some music from there and I think it's quite nice. So there you are. Now, if people don't know this, Jago gives his descriptions of cryptids as if he's at a party in the local place trying to chat up a girl with flirting with cryptids. Here we go.
And I walk up to this Appalachian beauty and I say, hey, have you heard about the Sheepsquatch?
Well, howdy. There's some funny looking clothes.
I'm from the future. But besides that,
Whoa.
it's a bipedal creature the size of a bear with a white wool surrounding its body. Its long pointed head, similar to a dog, with large saber-like teeth and curled horns like a ram.
Now, hun, if you take out your dick, I'm going to be really annoyed.
Don't worry, it has little raccoon hands. Not my dick, the Sheepsquatch.
Well, okay.
Yeah, it also smells like sulfur, mainly because it's apparently born in the TNT region, which is either just full of TNT or loads of sulfur around it.
Well, don't they... So they would use a lot of explosives to get into the coal mines.
Yeah, exactly.
Coal mine region.
Coal mine region. And it also has a musky scent associated with creatures like the weasel or the skunk.
So this is basically a 8-foot tall, bear-sized, bipedal, hairy bipedal yoke. I said bipedal twice.
Yeah.
The bipedal, so good you have to say it twice.
Do you know what annoys me?
Stinks like a skunk.
Bi-monthly can either mean every 2 months or twice a month.
I'm paying for bi-monthly. I'm only getting it every 2 months. It's so expensive.
Why? Your characters are always English now.
People who give out are English.
Oh, all the time.
Fact.
Tans.
So essentially like a big this is me visualizing it. Essentially would look like a kind of a werewolf, but with ram's horns and big saber-like fangs.
Yeah, the gist of it is it's a Sasquatch with a ram's head and sort of claws and teeth.
Now, what I like about this, Jago, is that West Virginia is known for the kind of paranormal and the weird, but the majority of things have been kind of cosmic, or ethereal. This is almost a chimera.
Yeah, it's a beastie.
It's a combination of
a wee beastie.
A wee beastie, man. Who are you but a wee beastie?
Yeah, I like it. It's more grounded in fact, because most of the time that any sort of creature brings up in West Virginia, it's like, oh, it could be some sort of spirit or some sort of extraterrestrial, where this is just big lump of meat with fur on it and horns.
Well, look, it gets real juicy when we get into the evidence.
Yeah. That's what I liked about it.
But look, because we do have freak encounters back and because we do have top trumps, why don't we just jump straight into it and see, can this motherfucking Sheepsquatch fight, you Sheepsquatch asshole?
Fighting.
I'm going to assume yes.
Yeah, it's the size of a bear, has horns that it can ram you with, like a ram's head, has sharp teeth, sharp claws. The only thing that sort of goes against it is a lot of the stories he's not particularly aggressive. He's a bit like a bear in the sense that it'll only protect its territory.
Territorial,
and yeah, it's a real territorial creature, and it won't attack until thing. Another sort of superpower it has is highly acidic urine.
Really?
Like not enough to melt through like metal, but like just enough to like really irritate you, like pepper spray piss.
Now, is that in real life or is that only in Fallout the game?
No, this is oh no, I just looked it up. I didn't realise that maybe it was Fallout the game.
No, because I was trying to look at the real Sheepsquatch, so we'll come into this in cool. Actually, do you know what? Fallout 76, the latest Fallout game about a kind of post-apocalyptic future. Normally, they've taken place in like Washington.
Yeah.
One was in Boston, Fallout 4. This one takes place in the Appalachians of West Virginia, and they've incorporated quite a lot of the cryptids.
Mothman, Flatwoods, yeah, I was going to say,
and
have we just been playing it and just like, oh yeah, let's get this one done.
Yeah.
But yeah, so no, I've read stories about highly acidic urine, and you know that it's nearby because if you smell like a tree and it just stinks, and you get like it's almost like an ammonia smell where like it wafts up and it like burns your nostrils out. That happened to me once in work experience for fourth year. I put my head in a chemical hood, and there was loads of ammonia gas, and it burnt my nostrils, and I was coughing for about 10 minutes.
Wait, you put your head.
So do you ever see a chemical hood? So basically, it's a thing that you use. That's like it's a big extractor fan, so you can use it if chemicals stink. Like it wasn't. I don't think it was pure ammonia. Otherwise, I probably would have died. But I put my head under it just to smell something, and then my nostrils were like burning for about 10 minutes. I was coughing my lungs up.
Jesus, just to smell something. I love that. Why'd you do that? Just to smell something.
Yeah, well, like life's for living.
I once drank petrol when we were going to.
Jesus, your marriage isn't that bad.
Okay, man. No, look, we'll talk off air.
Yeah, tell me more about this petrol experience.
No, we were going to Oxygen, and we were driving down, and we had loads of bottles of beer, and then it was our first festival, and then what we realised on the way down was getting texts saying, you can't bring bottles in.
Yeah.
You can only bring cans and if you have to be open, there's no glass bottles. So we're like,
Yeah.
fuck, we have literally like 2 crates each of these glass bottles. So I was like, I had this idea, like, right, why don't we stop in at a petrol station, right? We'll get one of those little canisters that they sell, pour all the bottles into that, and we'll just have to pour ourselves,
That's a pretty smart idea.
I mean, it would all immediately go flat.
Yeah, that's why. Yeah. I was just
so the lads got theirs. There was like 3 of them, and then they were like, "Oh, we only have 3." And I was like, "Well, what about that one there? Can I have that one?" And they were like behind the thing, and I was like, "Yeah, fine, but like it's not brand new." And I was like, "Fine, I don't mind it." So I took it, filled it full of beer, and then when we were bringing the big things in, they were like, "What the fuck is that?" And I was like, "No, it's beer. We poured it all into here."
Yeah.
And they're like, "Right, what do you test it?" And so I opened the thing, and the thing just shut, boom, boom, like the lid just went fucking 30 feet in the air. And they were like, "No, there's petrol in that." And I'm like, "No, it just smells like petrol because we were at a petrol station." And I was like, "I'll show you." And I drank it, and it tasted completely like petrol.
Did you puke?
No, but I was burping petrol a lot.
How much did you drink? Like, you just need to like sip it to prove it.
I chugged a good bit because I thought they might take it off me, Yeah,
so
I chugged it, and then it tastes like petrol. And then later on that night, like I was having a smoke, and my girlfriend at the time was like, "So what the fuck are you doing?" You literally just drank petrol.
You literally just drank petrol. But like, yeah, because
so that proves ammonia, petrol. Are we immortal?
I think so. I haven't been killed yet. So prove me wrong, God.
Well, I've managed to keep myself alive for 60 years. That's how I would be a manager.
So anyway, back to fighting. Again, I think it can fight. I think to make it fight would be a rare occurrence in the wild. But then we're not talking about the wild, are we, Tony?
No.
We're talking about the theatre. Screen.
A ram would kill you. A bear would kill you. Yeah. A tiger would kill you.
If you tie a ram to the top of a bear...
Jesus,
terrifying.
I did see a video of a ram like jumping about 8 foot in the air and just headbutting someone in the head. I don't know what's up with me at the moment, but I've been watching a lot of people getting hurt videos and deriving quite a lot of pleasure from it.
My sort of routine on a Friday night is after I get back from work, before I go out or do something mad, because I'm a ledge.
You're a ledge.
I'm full of banter.
You're a good chat.
I go on YouTube and look up fail army videos.
Fail the week, yeah.
Yeah, fail the week, and I watch that, and I'm like, glad that's not me.
Love it.
Yeah,
that's what I drive, and I'd be watching them because when you're not watching them with a group of people and maybe a little bit drunk or a little bit high or something like that, then you're just kind of like. When you're watching them stone face, it's not the same thing. Because when you're you're like, oh my God, I can't believe he fell. But then you're watching them on your own, you're just like stone face. Watching people like, oh, he hurt himself.
Yeah.
No, I like that.
He hurt himself. I wouldn't hurt myself if I was doing it.
There's some really fucked up ones. Well, not fucked up, but there's some good ones on Reddit where you can go and hold my beer where someone's drunk and they try and do a trick. And then hold my feeding tube is the biggest one.
Did you see that hold my feeding tube? I have read it and I have hold my beer. And obviously it's some sort of weird link and it said, maybe you should like this one. And some guy... gave another guy like mess and like a suplex, but the whatever way he fell, like the guy's whole weight landed on his neck.
Yeah,
and I'm pretty sure that guy's dead.
See, you don't know this at the time. Like normally you think, oh well, this is You've Been Framed, so they're probably okay if they were put on TV. Yeah,
like on Reddit, you're like, oh, it's on the internet, so it can't be wrong or messed up, but it is, and it's affected me so. But I remember watching when I was about 15, BME Pain Olympics.
Oh, God.
Where someone had, like, tourniqueted his dick and then just cut it up with a hatchet.
Oh, God.
Yeah. What were we doing?
I don't know.
And we give out about today's youth with their Snapchats and their polygons.
I saw, like I'm not one for watching fucked up videos online. Well, like, not really fucked up. I like seeing people fall down. But I saw, I'm not going to tell you what was that, but I saw a video to rival. It was sent to me. it'll to me would rival 2 Girls, 1 Cup.
Oh yeah, Jesus, that's
Yeah. Anyway. Speaking of 2 Girls, 1 Cup, this thing stinks of shit.
Yeah, so apparently
I'd run away.
Overwhelming stink of nastiness.
What do you think the connection with the kind of big feet? The Flatwoods Monster apparently stinks of sulfur and shit. Is it people seeing this thing and shitting themselves?
It could be some sort of psychological thing where if you're scared, all your senses sort of kick in. So maybe something that is in the background, so it kicks in. So basically, when you're scared, all your senses are heightened. Like, so maybe their sense of smell heightens, and they can just smell their own.
Do you know why people shit when they're afraid?
Why?
People shit when they're afraid because of a fight or flight reflex to dump unnecessary weight so that they can run.
Really? I would have thought it would have been something like this. You've did some research into this, but this is me off the top of my head.
I was talking shit over the weekend, so I'm telling me that.
I thought it would have been so a predator would be less likely to eat you. So if you're covered in shit, like I'm not going to eat someone covered in shit.
Do you know what? I had a similar kind of thought when my brother would always just be messing with me when I was growing up. He'd put his hand over my mouth just to mess with me, and then I would lick it so that he'd stop.
Yeah.
And then he'd be like, "Oh, gross." And then I thought, you know what? If some man ever tries to kidnap me, I'm just gonna lick his hand. But that's not. You gotta fucking love that.
Oh, he's into it.
Anyway, also here's an interesting fact. Did you know that there are more people alive today than have ever died?
I don't believe that for a second.
People don't, but look it up. There's
more
8 billion people.
8 billion people alive today.
Yeah.
So in the history from the genesis of what's called a Homo sapien.
Yeah.
That have died.
But
8 billion people haven't died.
All the populations have been very low. The populations are huge.
Well,
now. There are
Ireland
more
used to have
people.
8 million.
Yeah.
So no, but there used to be huge amounts of people in Europe, and then the Black Death killed.
There's going to be 10 billion. There's going to be 10 billion in fucking, I don't know. I'm talking my arse here. 10 years.
10 years, 10 billion. God, we better start going to the moon.
We should start going to the moon.
Yeah.
Or do what Prince Philip says. I'd love to be reincarnated as a plague. Do you
Did he
say
actually say that?
Yeah.
No. Why?
Because he says that fucking overpopulation is the biggest scourge. On
David
the earth.
Attenborough says that as well, that overpopulation is a huge scourge, and he thinks that there should be some sort of eugenics program where, not eugenics per se, I'm not putting words in his mouth, David Attenborough, but
I never said that.
they should, sorry, he's back in, but children or families should have one baby per.
I just think there's a superior race, and if you're not able to realize that, then you should.
Brazilians, all their arses are lovely.
Whoa. I give this a fighting of 8.
I gave it a fighting of 8 too.
Great.
That's great. Man, I can't believe that was a long... Sorry, go ahead.
No. I just hit it too quick. And of course, let's not offend everyone. I'm sure loads of different races have lovely bottoms as well.
Bottoms.
Now, look, we know
except for the Finnish. Go ahead.
I don't know.
Name one Finnish person with a nice arse.
I can't name one Finnish person apart from Ville Valo from the band Him.
Bjork?
That's from Iceland, you Klim.
Oh no, that's right.
Anyway, look, we know that this standing werewolf with fucking ram horns and big fangs can fight like a motherfucker, but did it ever exist? Why are you looking at me like that?
But what is the evidence, sir? I'm just writing something down.
Look, I'll tell you why Brazilians allegedly have lovely bottoms. Because they're outdoors all the time. There's lovely weather.
So do you think that if a country has a lot of good weather, they have better physiques?
Okay, if we could, I don't know if anthropomorphize is the right word, but if we could anthropomorphize chat in women, then into an arse, then Irish girls would have the biggest fucking loveliest arses going.
Yeah, no, if you, so you mean consider personality. If personality was...
I didn't explain this right. Basically, I think that Irish people have better chat because we're indoors all the time. We have to chat to each other.
So That could be a good reason.
That's why we're
The
better
reason
writers.
yeah,
We're better musicians.
it's because we don't go out in the sun.
Because we don't go out in the sun. I mean, we don't have. We're not going to have the same Olympic level of the Australians, even though we've got a similar population.
Then why we go to rugby?
Because that's something that we can endure in a temperate climate. Although the Southern Hemisphere rugby's way better.
Yeah, but that's
And
apparently
quicker.
Apparently, that's due to there's a slight heavierness in gravity. This is bullshit I read before.
Terry be going apeshit now if she hears this, but she never listens to the podcast.
But there's a tiny, like a minuscule amount of heavier gravity down in the Southern Hemisphere. So their bones are a bit denser, so they're heavier.
You could also suggest that they institutionalized rugby a lot more in the Southern Hemisphere and that they kind of promote
the
the
gravity,
idea.
and they're all squat. They're all tiny.
Every single person in New Zealand plays rugby. That's why they're so good.
Probably, yeah.
there's
They have a good choice to pick from. You know what I mean?
But it's just like there's no other option. Like, I mean, think of Irish people going into basketball, being like, "Don't waste your time. You're never going to get it.
Never gonna get it.
Never going to get it." Jago, come on, you need to give us some evidence on this, baby.
Yeah, so most of the evidence that appeared for this creature comes around in 1990. So this is a Gen X.
Oh, cool! I'm into this.
Yeah, cool. Like Sonic Youth,
Cool.
Nirvana.
Plaid.
So yeah, exactly. Plaid. 1994 was a Navy seaman. Hold your jokes till the end. Saw a large
More like
creature.
cream semen. What
Yep.
colour's yours?
Plaid.
Sorry for these dumb juvenile jokes.
Navy seaman. I already got that now. Cream seaman. We saw a creature breaking through the brush, and after eating some shroom caps.
Whoa!
Black hole sun, won't you come? It went towards the stream and drank a bit of water, and then it stood up when it noticed him and sprinted away in fear, which is not really that aggressive.
So he witnessed the beast. So he witnessed this big wolfy thing go eat a load of shrooms, drink some water, and then got noticed and spooked away.
Yeah, he's just
Fucking
high
hell.
from a festival or something. And then in 1995, a car was driving through Boone County, which is it comes up in a lot of these sort of areas. When they spotted something on the side of the hedgerow beside it, right, and they stopped to try and see what it was, but then they saw a creature run across the path of it. Now this description was a bit different. It had 4 eyes.
What?
Yeah, like a fucking nerd.
Okay, stop looking at me like that.
Yeah, so it ran by in front of the car. Now, a similar one, same time in 1995, a car was stopped and they heard growling and roar, and then the side of their car was bashed in.
Fucking hell.
And it left a dent, and the 2 occupants described it as, we felt an immense force inside the car, and the car lifted up onto 2 wheels.
Fucking hell. So the police report said, your car has been bashed in.
Well, not specifically bashed in, I'm just
No,
giving
I
it
know,
the
I like
Irish
that, though.
twinge to it.
I like the Irish twinge. Also, within
Your
the same
vehicle was dented.
Your vehicle's been bashed in. The Gardaí are on it. I'll see you later. Within the same year, I read as well, 95, 2 children observed a creature in their yard in Boone County. They apparently saw what they described a large white bear, because this is often called white thing.
Yeah.
Down. And they reported seeing a large white bear, and it apparently stood up on its hind legs, making it over 6 feet tall. And then the beast ran off into the forest, breaking medium-sized limbs off the trees in its path.
Ooh,
So
medium.
That's tough.
Another one here. In 1999, a few campers were around a fire outside of a lodge, and they heard some rustling in the bush.
Rustling in the bus.
Rushing in the bush, and they felt something was circling them. And then it didn't approach them immediately, but after about 20 minutes, it jumped down and chased towards them. They all sprinted to the lodge, but they made police reports that they were attacked by a bear creature with horns on its head.
Fucking hell. So this is the first instance of talking about this white thing with the horns.
With horns, yeah. Now, I don't know if bears, because remember we talked about the jackalope and what's it called, the disease that makes it grow keratin horns. Like, I don't know if bears can get that, because that could be.
Well, anyone can get that. We could get that.
Can humans get it?
Yeah, I'm sure we could. You've seen people with crazy growths in the Guinness World Records.
Yeah. Oh, did you ever see the guy with the longest nails in his hands?
Yeah, I hate that.
But like, how's he? My first question always goes to how does he wipe his arse? Because there's no way in hell. Even when I see girls on the street who just get their nails done and they have really long nails, I'm like,
They must have the best bidet in the biz.
Yeah. Again, I think Ireland should institute a bidet policy.
Everyone knows my policy on bidets.
You have a bit about your bidets.
I do have a bit about bidets. I just believe that it's the bidets of the future, and we should not, in this day and age, be getting any poo on our hands.
So, but the thing is, though, climate change is a huge issue these days. So, do you think that toilet paper would be manufactured toilet paper? Oh, because that would save trees, actually.
It would save trees. It would save everyone.
So, how would you? But then, would it not be more water used?
Maybe
you should flush the toilet, and then the toilet water that is.
Well, do you know what actually I've seen done very well? There was one toilet I saw in Japan where the sink to wash your hands went into the cistern.
To the cistern, yeah, that's why I've seen one of them as well. But maybe something similar to that, like the sink goes into a cistern for.
I think if we weren't, and I'm sorry now, you can skip ahead 15 seconds now because I'm going to talk about poo for a second. I think poo should be left in the toilet and people should pee on the poo. Pee on the side of the toilet and wash the poo.
That's an assault on the senses. Like the
It
people
is.
I work with, if they did that, it would be a health hazard.
I think people should get over it. And do you know what I think people should get over, and again, this is gross to some people, sanitary bin removal. People freaking out about fucking... Now, I know there's blood involved, but I mean, people... Like, there's companies that are like fucking... those like bank security companies coming to public places to remove sanitary pads.
Yeah, that happens in my job, but like people come and they...
That's insane. But just fucking put the bin out. Just put it... The people are so... Like, what's this shaming on women and their sanitary pads?
It's a biohazard thing, isn't it?
Well, yeah, because it's blood or whatever, but there's, just fucking... Just get over it, Put some... We should be able to fucking handle the idea now, after 60,000 years of Homo sapien.
I don't think
that women menstruate.
Us two are the most qualified to talk about menstruation.
I can fucking talk about this. It should be free, or at least fucking tax-free.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be a luxury.
I do agree
men
with that.
should be able to deal with the fact that it happens and they're taking the fucking bin out.
I do think that...
We as men pride ourselves in taking bins out. So why are we now afraid of this sanitary bin? It's tiny. Anyway, I want to read you a story, Jago, because this might explain what this Sheepsquatch actually is. And I'm going to play some music here. Okay, Jago, are you aware of the Sheepshooters War?
No, hit me.
The Sheepshooters War was an armed conflict in central and eastern Oregon. Basically, this was a war pitted between cattlemen and sheep herders. This is between 1895 and 1906. To cut a long story short, this paramilitary group called the Sheepshooters was set up because basically these cattle herders were like on this land, and they gave over a bit of land for sheep to graze, but the sheep were fucking tearing through the grass and like leaving nothing but weeds for the cattle. Like literally they could clean an entire field in a day. So the Sheepshooters were a paramilitary group, like a secret paramilitary group that were set up. The whole thing was like you couldn't tell anyone, and if you saw a cattle herder, they would kill them on site and bury them there then. And if a sheepshooter was killed, they'd be dropped back to their family without letting them know what had happened, and no one could ever admit they were in the sheepshooters. But basically, these sheepshooters slaughtered in 10 years 25,000 sheep, and a few men were killed, right? And this is one story about it, right? This guy... So basically, usually sheepshooters would launch a surprise attack on a camp, capturing herders and shoot or kill all the sheep, or club all the sheep. And herders were beaten as well. So according to William R. Racy, a rancher interviewed, right, this is what he said. He met an old sheep herder who was the victor of one of these gunfights. And this story hasn't been confirmed. I'll actually get rid of the music. This is cool, right? I was working for a sheep man up in Oregon, and I noticed this one man never said a word. An old man to men then. I was only 15, but he could have been 60, 65, possibly even 70. I was night herding the sheep this time, lambing time. All I do was ride around the herb and heap coyotes shoved back to get any lambs. I was talking to one of the herders that day, and I said, "Do you know this fellow?" He said, "Yeah," told me his name. And I said, "What gives with him? I've known him for about 3 months now, and I never heard him say a word." So then this herder told me this story. This was back years ago, back during the cattle and sheep wars. He was running his sheep up on a high desert in Oregon. 3 cowboys came through, and then they caught him and beat him half to death. They got him on his hands and knees and made him walk around and baa like a sheep. Baa like a sheep. When he got to the farthest side of the herd, they had their fun and turned him loose. that he crawled back to his herd and got back to his camp. He revived himself as best he could, and then he got on his saddle horse with his rifle and went after them. He caught up with them, and he killed one, wounded one, and captured the third. When the local authorities had a trial, he was acquitted with self-defense, and then they went out and got the wounded man and the dead man. The wounded man told him, the one that got sent to the penitentiary, "When I get out of jail, I'm going to kill you, boy, for sending me to the penitentiary." Well, right then, the herder was a young man, only in his late teens, maybe 20 or so, and he didn't think too much about it. As time went on, that bore in his mind and pulled some strings, and he got the man paroled. Then as time went on, it started to bore in his mind, killing the man from the inside, and then he turned into a vegetable. And that was when I knew him. So you see, even in the rough days of cattle wars, you can't kill a man and brush it off like a sore throat. On the range, it's a pretty serious offence.
Ooh.
Isn't that badass?
That's badass.
But apparently, like, they would go to these places. In 1904, over 6,000 sheep were killed by being herded off a rimrock.
Yeah.
Like, herded off a cliff.
Like lemmings, yeah.
Like lemmings, and then the rest of them were killed.
Jesus.
So
people hate fucking sheep.
These cattlemen...
Is the Sheepsquatch the spirit
This
of all
is
this
what I'm thinking.
injured sheep?
Is the Sheepsquatch potentially a bear who's grown some horns? Bullshit. Or is it the motherfucking Sheepsquatch ready to take revenge
for all these sheep shooters
on the biggest threat to the earth?
Mankind. At the start of this episode, we talked about there was no spirituality or alternatives. Is it a ghost?
Is it a ghost?
I gave this a big dirty 8.
I heard the evidence. I'm not.
Hey.
Oh, very good. Yeah. But I'm not blown away by it, Jago. I'm giving this a 6.
6?
Yeah, because next week. Well, I'm not going to say that next week I'm giving the next cryptid more, but I would say that looking at the evidence of next week's cryptid.
But that taints your views. Like, if we hadn't been talking about the next week's cryptid before,
I would look at this evidence and say something was spotted. There's not enough concrete evidence for me. There's just not enough for me.
Do you know what? I'll defer to you in this scenario.
Thank you very much. I will not need, out of respect, I will not play the defer tune. But let's just move on to cool, baby. Cha cha. Cool, baby. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I like it.
Done.
Done. No, it has a lot of the sort of qualities that we like in cryptids. It's big.
Yep.
Aggressive, but not too aggressive. Mm-hmm. It's a physical creature, but it also has a stinky urine. Urine. I do like it. I think it's cool. I do think. I think this is fucking on the precipice of blowing up. That it's going to become like the new Sasquatch, basically. I
find. Well, no, I'm getting into sex appeal here. I won't say this.
Yeah, I'll tell you later.
It's also it's popular. Maybe not popular enough. Maybe this is kind of like maybe this is, as you said, a bit of on the cusp. Maybe this is a DC Fontaines DC kind of vibe where they're about to fucking blow up, man. They just got the pitchfork nod.
Yeah, it just needs a little backing. It needs a Phil Spector.
This is cooler in my opinion than the Mothman.
I 100%. I would totally agree with it,
and it's fierce.
I think the Mothman only became popular just because of its death count.
Yes.
Yeah. So because there's no deaths associated, there's no murders or anything like that. I think that this is going to lose a little bit of points. But
it is.
I'm not saying that
it's featured in Fallout 76.
Yeah.
It featured in Monsters and Mysteries in America. Was it? No, sorry. Yeah, Monsters and Mysteries, a series in America. It's and it also, do you know what? It's part of the Squatch family.
Yeah, and as we know, we are Squatch till we die.
We're Squatch till we die. I don't have much more to say about that.
Yeah, cool factor's pretty thing. I do think it needs a rebranding though. So I've come up with a couple of names.
Oh, brilliant!
Oh shit, we haven't done we
haven't done a movie in a while.
Skit in a while. So another one. I'm going to say this here, and you say, give me a ba for a good, or
a nay.
A nay for a horse, apparently.
For bad.
All right. Ramboy.
Ba.
Good. Gruff Squatch. Billy Goat Scruff.
Nay.
All right. Sheepzilla.
Bah.
Yeah, and then that's it. That's the end of them.
That's really good.
Can you think of any more good names, Tony? Because you are the creative engine behind this process.
Would you stop? I would say...
William Defoe.
Love it. Beyonce.
Fuck, that's so good. Like, literally one and you've washed me out of the water. Washed me out of the water.
Queen Sheep. I give this a cool... I still give it a cool 7.
Yeah, I do think that if we revisit these cryptids next year, it might have blown up. It might be on the cover of a Chance the Rapper album.
Hopefully.
Could be the next fucking Steven universe. Who knows?
I haven't seen it. Is it good?
It's a cartoon. Yeah, it's pretty good, yeah.
Cool. Well, look, we know it's got a cool of 7, but is this thing sexy? I don't know. Did you just injure your ear dabbing there, Jacob?
Yeah, I was dabbing and I punched myself in the ear.
There you are now.
Sexy.
It stinks.
It stank. Yes, everything stinks, Mr. Cantwell. So I have a conflicting view of this. It's big, strong, has like tight fur wool. It will protect her. It's protect. It's a family man or woman. Stinks of piss and it pisses everywhere. So you don't know. It's like it's yin yang.
It's tall.
Have you ever just been like you're madly in love with someone but they stink?
I think I'm at the point now in my marriage where I'm into the pheromones. I'm into the pheromones.
There is a love to be said. Like sometimes I'll be sweating and I'll be like whatever, and I'll be talking to my girlfriend and she'll be like, "Oh, you smell good." I'm like, "Well, I don't," but.
Well, I don't, so you're actually a fucking liar,
You're
but
wrong.
thanks.
But yeah, so pheromones are a thing now.
I'm into the pheromones now. I wouldn't be into them into a stranger because I'm not acclimatized to the scent.
Apparently, women find men's smell attractive or unattractive depending on their ovulation cycle.
Ooh.
So if you stink of sweat while they're high ovulation, I don't know how it works, you smell great and you're attracted to them because you're prime mating material.
Is it mad we don't know anything about ovulation?
What?
Isn't it mad we don't know anything? Well, we know. I know a little bit. Well, I don't. I couldn't. Okay, let me describe ovulation. Right.
It's about eggs.
Ovulating is when post period. Your
new rapper.
Post period, yeah. I'm on the fucking blob now. I'm not in fucking on the blob now. So I think it's post-period, and I'm sorry if you're not into menstruation, but you need to grow up. Post-period, you are now have the new lining of your womb, and basically
you're ready to accept the
ready
egg.
To accept the egg.
That descends from the fallopian tube.
So maybe it's got better. I don't want to use the word friction because that doesn't sound good in terms of a uterus.
Grip.
Better grip. So it's fresh grip is when you're at peak ovulation. Sound good?
Yeah.
Cool. So I like tall...
Tune in next week for Tony Jacob's Sex Ed.
I'm attracted to tall, hairy people.
Yeah.
You know, you used to wink at me, Jago. You know I fancy you. I also like ram horns on men. I haven't seen them yet on a woman, but like, you know your man in Saga. Yeah. I'm into him.
Yeah.
He looks cool. I'm into horns in general on people.
Yeah,
that gets a plus.
Me and Tony played Dungeons and Dragons because we're big nerds.
Mm-hmm.
But there's a race called Tieflings that tend to have like horns like that. I'll show you tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so I give this. It does stink of piss though, and that sort of takes a lot away from it.
It does stink of piss. Yeah, and you know what? There's that chap. You know that chap who's always fucking with us outside Grogan's.
Oh yeah,
he stinks of piss as well. And I don't like him.
Yeah, so you're associating
because he's cruel.
But now another one we'll bring in. It probably might be a new thing. Put it in a dress. Do you fancy it, Tony?
Ooh, what's under that dress?
What's under that dress?
No, this has to be a man for me.
It has to be a man for you. Yeah,
which it's fine to wear a dress.
Either or, you know, Pride Week.
Yeah,
month. I give it a big old 7. Lucky number 7.
I gave it a 6. But I will give it a 7.
Okay, so you defer to me.
Also, do you know what? I would like to give a nod before we open up the Premier Crypt. I'd like to give a nod to the keeper of the Premier Crypt, Ben Clifford's live Dungeons and Dragons stream. It's called Homebrew Quest, and you can find that on all the socials at Homebrew Quest. We've been watching it. We're getting a great kick out of it. And if you like D&D and you like seeing funny people drink some beers and be cool characters, I highly recommend check it out.
It does include a lot of Irish mythology as well. So they had the Dobbercoo on the other day. Spoilers, but
Chap knows more about this than we do.
Yeah.
We're fucking just fooling ourselves.
We should have him on and just agree with him. Everything he said.
Well, we can talk off the air about that.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah.
I know, Ben. We'll have you on sometime. Right, Jago, I'm going to open up the Ben Clifford Memorial Premier Crypt. Sorry, Ben. Please don't die.
You fucked it out.
No, please don't die. Although, hang on, he has not updated the Flatwoods Monster. Ben,
take that all back.
Take that all back, Ben. You're slipping. Yeah, can you let me know the final scores, please, Mark Jago?
Hit me with the rhythm stick.
Yep.
8 fighting, 6 evidence, 7 cool, 7 sex.
What's the final score?
28.
28. Okay, that's very similar to what we had for the Groot slang. What are we looking at in terms of? Okay, in joint. Ooh, 20th place.
Oh, nice. And joint with who?
Joint with the Groot slang and joint with the Phantom Cats and the Mongolian Deathworm.
We stopped. For about 2 episodes, we were like, oh, let's give 5.5s. And then we were like, nah, fuck it, let's go.
We might have to revisit.
We might literally have to make it into a percentage of 100.
Oh, that's not a bad show.
Yeah, jump into it. But listen, that's 28 for the time being. We'll discuss it maybe in season 3 if we get some sponsorship. Alcohol companies.
We will. Otherwise, I'm fucking out of here. Right, that's been a lot of fun. Will we do top trumps and then close it out with a freak encounter?
That sounds good to me.
Okay, right. Well, do you have your team ahead of you?
I do. I will shuffle my deck and I will draw.
It's time for top trumps. Am I too obnoxious?
Just enough obnoxious.
Okay.
Who's gonna win? Is it Tony or Jago? Put no Wolfman against a mermaid. Pick one team in the theater screams at the part of the show that we call top trumps.
Okay, top trumps. Here we go. Jago.
Yeah.
If you recall,
You did.
spanked Joe Little pink ass last week.
Yeah, the first time for a while though, wasn't it? So about 12.
Hey,
episodes.
you're only as good as your last game. You're only as good as your last game. And I spanked your hoop with the pretty much undefeatable Jin.
Yeah, there was he was basically all 10, or she was all 10. This formless creature was all 10.
Well, Mark Jago, how do you like when I come at you?
Very much so.
Okay, let me finish the fucking sentence. Team Pussy Licking Junkies draws against Team Eddie and Linda's biggest mistake.
Yeah.
The ahoo!
I'm okay with that.
As you should be, because the highest I have is evidence of 5.
Yeah. So this is 100% your fault. This creature would not have got any of these scores unless you were just not licking my arse. This is the Grugok.
Oh yeah, when I said it was you.
It basically implied it was me. So for evidence, I had 8. So this is your own fault. This is you hoisted by your own petard.
What?
Hoisted by your own petard. Did you ever hear that?
I don't know, but it sounds very inappropriate. We don't use that word anymore.
I think it means stabbed by your own sword, basically. I just got there. So basically, I win. I'm at 8. So the new teams are Team Jago is cool.
Look, I'm not into this anymore, this game.
Top trumps?
No, I'm only messing.
Because you're losing so bad. You're such a... you pretend not to be competitive, but when you lose, you're just like, no, I don't want to play anymore.
Yeah, that's right.
I'm taking the ball home.
It's alright. I got some pretty big boys coming up next week.
Let's just see. So Team Jago's cool.
Oh, just shut up with the Team Jago's cool.
And then
at least keep your name.
I did Team Jago's cool. And then you're going to be called Team Mickey Drip.
Oh, come on.
Yeah.
You know I've got a long foreskin. It's not my fault.
So that was Team Mickey Drip. All right, so next week, big guns are coming out to play.
Okay. Right. Well, look. Fucking hell. This is bollocks.
No, did we not decide the forfeit last week was just make a really nice meal for the other person?
Yeah, actually, that's fair.
That's pretty nice.
Yeah, I'll do that for you. Look, we finally got a few freak encounters.
Sure, we should live stream the meal if whoever.
Yeah, we should. What's that called? In the do it in Asia, mukbang. We'll have a live mukbang of Jago eating my meal, and be like, "Oh, it's a shame Mary couldn't join us for dinner."
Could you not just not raise your eyebrows when you say meal, because it's very suggestive? Anyway,
well, let's just say we'll be having Mary for dinner.
Like cannibalism.
Okay, a bit of freak encounter. No matter what they tell us. Freak encounters. Oh, brilliant. Okay. This one comes in from Aoife Ryan through our Instagram. If you would like to send in your freak encounter, please do so. sexybeastpod@gmail.com if you got a long one. Or look, just got a quick one, something weird happened to you or a friend, at sexybeastpod on Instagram. Jago, are you ready?
Hit me.
Okay. Just gonna wait for the drop. My granny's friend and her husband were driving home one night. And when they were driving on the road, there was some builder's electric wire. Or something like that. I can't exactly remember what it was. But the husband slowed down and my granny's friend got out to get it because it's expensive. They were going to sell it. They drove off with the wire on the back seat. And a couple of minutes later, my granny's friend started to scream because she felt someone punching her. And the husband started to feel it as well. Started feeling hits. And in the back seat, the wire was going mad. It pulled all over the place, but they were feeling the digs into themselves. They threw the wire and drove on. Nothing happened after that, but my granny said that she never saw her friend as scared and could see the bruises on her.
That's weird.
That is weird.
But what do you think it could be? It was that the wire that killed 7 murderers.
Now, I'm going to say fingers crossed, not a shitty story to cover up an abusive relationship. I'm just going to say fingers crossed that's not the case. And I'm going to say hopefully it was a haunted wire.
How did you get those bruises on your arms, Deirdre? Oh, the wire I picked off the side of the road punched me.
Well, no, let's not have a go at the granny's friend. Thank you very much, Aoife, for sending that in.
Granny's friend, Aoife. Good stories. If you have more, as Tony said, send them in to us.
Well, you know what? Because it was a short one, I'll do another quick short one.
Oh, we are spoiling you now.
We are spoiling you, but just because these are a bit shorter. Hang on.
You should send in longer ones.
Okay, one more quick one. This is just almost a couple of sentences. My auntie was born as a twin, but the twin didn't survive. And on her 18th birthday, my nana made her a birthday breakfast, and every egg had a double yolk.
That's mental. That is pretty weird.
It is weird.
That's like the universe trying to tell you.
Jago, do you have some American West Virginian piece of shit cowboy?
It's not cowboy because I think cowboys. I've got a Native American one.
Let's have it.
I will. It is better to have less thunder in your mouth and more lightning in your hand.
Oh, see you next week.
You're just so sexy. Are you a Loch Ness monster? Or are you Bigfoot?
Common sense, I'm convinced that's just too much pressure to take.
I felt this way before, so insecure.
Hey, coming after me. Who just said, fuck said you could laugh at me, smack with me? With a Bigfoot dick you could slap with me? Blasphemy. You could dare come at me with a Bigfoot dick and a Loch Ness monster pussy? Bay sexy beast.
I used to fancy that girl so much in that Linkin Park video.
I fancy your one from the Blink-182, always. So here I am, so come on baby, hold you, touch you.
Anyway. They were both hot. Anyway, this has been a Headstuff Podcast Network.
Boing.
I'm Alan
Bennett. You know his name.
This has been a production of the Headstuff Podcast Network.